As the film begins, we are introduced to Princess Eva, who listens to a man narrate the story of King Shah-Uran. King Shah-Uran possesses a magical crown that grants him the power to fulfill any wish. This crown can make dreams come true, and many desire to claim it for themselves. Among those seeking the crown is a magician named Zafar, who is determined to obtain it, even if it means killing the king. However, the king's magic was more powerful than Zafar's, making it impossible for Zafar to kill him or take the crown. Enraged, Zafar cursed the king, declaring, "You will remain alone for thousands of years, and anyone who looks at you will turn to stone." Eva doesn't believe all this, but the man says, "No, princess, all this is true." He says, "You can cure your father with the magical crown of the king." Shah-Uran was sick for a long time. The scene cuts and we are shown a blind man named Martin, and he is a good blacksmith. He makes the weapons of all the soldiers of the king. He was making weapons that a man comes and asks his king is preparing for war. Meanwhile, Martin's mom comes and says no, the king is sick and his advisor is preparing for war without taking any order from him. He is disloyal and he wants to occupy the king's empire. Here we see Eva comes to her dad and says, "I have found that there is a treatment for you. I will definitely bring Shah-Uran's crown to heal you," she says, but the king replies, "No, my love, these are just tales. There is no Shah-Uran and no magical crown. Instead, focus on finding a worthy match to marry. Then he will handle all my empire." Hearing this, Eva was about to leave being sad, but Hojo stops her. The king's consultant. He tells Eva that the story of the king Shah-Uran is true. He says your dad has hidden the map having the way to go to Shah-Uran's palace. Actually, many people went to find Shah-Uran's crown but none returned till today. That's why the king is scared to send anybody there, but if you would have a brother, he would take this risk for the king. Eva agrees with him without thinking that he must be playing a trick, and she steals the map from the king's room at night. Then she gets on her horse and leaves to bring Shah-Uran's crown. Before leaving, Eva wore a long gown due to which the soldiers couldn't recognize her and they stop her considering a thief, but Eva left while pushing everyone with her horse. Hojo was watching all this. He didn't stop her and conveys the news to the king that Eva ran away from there to get the crown of the king Shah-Uran. Hearing this, the king gets scared and asks him to send all the soldiers to find her daughter. "I need my daughter alive, safe and sound." Hojo says this isn't possible because I have no authority to order anyone. I can do the task of finding your daughter if you will declare me the king. Here the king, who was worried about his illness, now can't bear the sorrow of his daughter, so he makes Hojo the king until Eva returns. Hojo becomes happy to hear this because his plan worked properly. None return till today from the king Shah-Uran's palace. He doesn't send anyone to look for Eva because he don't need her. Hojo goes to his room and talks to someone in his magical mirror, to whom he tells that the king has made him the new king here. "Soon, I will attack the other empires and will make them mine, and then will rule the whole world." Look, the princess is on her way to King Shah-Uran's palace, and she will pass by you. Make sure she never returns. Their talk was over and we saw Martin on the other side in the forest. He was completing all the tasks exceptionally well, even though he was blind. Now, he brings a Christmas tree home, and his mom even scolds him, asking why he puts himself in danger every day. Martin says, "Don't you worry, Mom, I can do everything. I don't have eyes but my other senses work very well." He brought a Christmas tree because Christmas was just a few days away, and he wanted to decorate it himself. Meanwhile, it is shown that Eva also reaches their city. Eva has to make her old sword sharp. When she asked people about a blacksmith, they take her to Martin's house. Martin goes near her and asks, "How may I help you?" Eva says, "I want to make my sword sharp and also want to make my horseshoe." Martin says, "You can stay with my mom until I do all this." Listening to him, Eva knocks at his door. As the lady comes out, She becomes excited as she recognizes Eva. She confuses to see the princess at her house and couldn't understand what to do. She makes her sit at her house and presents everything in front of her. They starts talking. After a while, Martin brings the sharp sword to her and Eva tells them that she is heading to Shah Uran's palace, but Martin's mom gets scared to hear this. She says, "Why are you taking this risk?" None returned from there till today, but Eva says, "I have to make my dad fine somehow. I have to take this dangerous step." Martin's mom knew that Eva will not listen to her, so she asks her to stay there tonight. She says this is a dangerous journey, so continue it in the morning. Eva goes to sleep after this and Martin says to his mom, "Mom, I will also go with Princess Eva." Hearing this, his mom says, "Are you a fool? I will not let you go in this danger." Martin says, "Mom, we can't let the princess go there alone." Seeing Martin's stubbornness, she doesn't know what else to do and secretly adds sleeping pills to his tea. Martin wakes up late in the morning, and when he asks his mom about Eva, he finds out that Eva left early in the morning. Martin suspects that his mom is the one who did this to him. He followed the princess's fragrance, and when he arrived at a certain place, he found her handkerchief there. When he was sitting with the handkerchief, his mom says, "Martin, don't you have any task today? Why are you sitting like this?" Listening to his mom, he starts cutting the wood, but he was feeling that the princess and her horse are near. He was right, her horse comes here in a few seconds, and Martin understands that the princess must be in some trouble. The horse returned alone. He rushes into the house and wears his clothes as he has decided to save the princess. At first, his mom tries to stop him, but seeing his firm decision, she gives him an axe and some stuff to eat. Then Martin goes to save the princess. Moving from the dense forests, he reaches the place from where the long mountains start, behind which there was Shah Uran's palace. The horse wasn't moving ahead, and then he remembers what his mom said, that place is so dangerous that even animals are scared of going there. He understands that the horse will not move. He has to move forward alone. He reaches a path while knowing the way with the help of his axe. There was a road and a door inside it. The door looks like Shah Uran. There was a goblin sitting in the ear of Shah Uran's statue. He understands to see Martin that he is blind. He makes him fool and says, "I am a guard here and you can't move ahead without giving me something." Martin confuses and says, "I am an ordinary blacksmith. I have no coin to give you." Then Goblin asks, "What is in your bag?" He says, "Just food stuff," and Goblin mouth watered. Martin places a bun at a distance so that the guard will pick it. He doesn't know that it is a goblin. When the goblin tastes the bun, it was yummy, and being greedy he gets into Martin's bag. Martin understands with the noise that there is someone and he captures Goblin. He was surprised to capture such a tiny man. Martin said, "You're so small, yet you tell such big lies and you also steal." Goblin says, "Actually, I feel so much hunger and I don't get food for days in the forest. How can I leave this tasty food?" Martin laughs to hear this and gives him another bun. The goblin becomes happy and decides to help him. He tells him that, "I know you have come here in search of the princess. On the way, you will meet a witch and she will help you to find the princess. But don't get stuck in her trap, but if she would take you to her home, so bring her cat with you." Hearing this from him, Martin continues his journey, but we see Goblin still chasing him for his food. On the way, a stream comes which he guesses with his axe, to know its depth, that throws the stones in it and discovers that is not much deep. He can cross it. He takes off his clothes and crosses the stream, and then again wears his clothes to continue his journey. After crossing the stream, he meets the witch at a distance, about whom Goblin told him she has a strange face. When Martin asks her about the princess, the witch says, "I don't remember things. Maybe the princess come here, but I don't remember where she went. I wrote all my things in my diary, and if you want to know, then come home. I will tell you after reading it from my diary that in which direction she moved." Innocent Martin goes to her home while getting trapped in her talks. The witch makes him sit on a stool and thinks that today she will eat this blind's flesh. Now to trap Martin, She mixes some medicines in the milk and gives it to Martin to make him unconscious. As Martin smells it, he feels something is fishy and remembers what Goblin said. He told him to stay alert from this witch. Now he uses his mind and says, I hear voices from outside, maybe someone is calling you. The witch runs out to get her second prey. Meanwhile, Martin exchanges his milk with the witch's cup. The witch returns and says there was none outside, it must be your delusion. Now drink your milk, hurry up. Martin drinks it. Then he starts acting like he is fainted because he knows that the witch will not refrain. She quickly lit the fire, determined to cook Martin today, but suddenly fainted. When she comes to her senses, Martin hung her upside down on the boiling water. He says, tell me about the princess, otherwise, I will make your soup right now. The witch gets scared and she tells Martin that in which direction she went. After it, the witch says get me down, but Martin leaves without freeing her. Martin moves ahead and the problems were increasing on his way. The mountains were bringing troubles on each step. This mountain was at height, he was facing difficulty to climb on it. Here, Goblin says to help him that the mountain you are climbing on is thin, you will get stuck if you will fall. It wouldn't be easy to come out, but Martin keeps on climbing up while guessing the height with his axe. The witch also cuts her rope with the help of an axe and gets herself free. She immediately starts talking to someone in the mirror. It was Hojo, whom she tells that I think now your curse will break. Hojo says, what nonsense? I have cursed him. I am the real Zafar, I am the magician who cursed him, and I am alive for thousands of years. I am not dead, so how can that curse break? The witch says if someone will spend a day with Shah Uran without seeing him, his curse will end, and now a man named Martin will end your curse because he is blind and moving towards Shah Uran's palace. He becomes furious to hear this and immediately comes behind Martin through his black magic. At this time, Martin was on a strange cliff on which it was difficult to climb. Martin doesn't lose courage and climbs up using his strength. Seeing this blind climbing up, Hojo becomes surprised and makes Goblin a stone with his magic who could see him and could help Martin. Then he throws Martin down the mountain. Before he could fall and something happened to him, Hojo says to him in Goblin's voice that you were about to fall, but I saved you with my magic. Thanks me. Martin thanks him. Hojo again says in Goblin's voice that until the King Shah Uran is alive, his curse will remain alive. If you will go there and kill him, his curse will end. You will save the princess and the king too. Martin again thanks him for giving him advice and starts his journey again. He finally climbs up the narrow and complicated mountain. Ahead it, he finally finds the King Shah Uran's cave-like palace. Moving inside, everything was of stone. As King Shah Uran has seen all this, many of the people have also turned into statues to saw in Shah Uran's eyes. Holding those statues, he moves ahead and reaching a statue he feels the princess's fragrance and he understands that she is the princess. The King Shah Uran becomes surprised to see this man. He turns his face so many times to the King Shah Uran, and the king even saw him, but he didn't turn into a statue. Sad Shah Uran asks him surprisingly, why didn't you turn into a statue? Martin says because I am blind and can't see you. I come here to end your curse. Shah Uran was also tired of living alone due to the curse and asked Martin, how do you plan to break this curse? Martin says I found out from a goblin that your curse will end if I will kill you. Being fed up of his life, Shah Uran bends in front of him and says kill me if there is well-being of everyone, then kill me. I haven't done bad to anyone in my life, but even then I got a punishment, so punish me. Martin picks up axe to kill him, but he doesn't like to kill Shah Uran. He says you didn't kill anyone till today or wasn't cruel, so why do you get this punishment? Suddenly, the magician Zafar comes in front and says to Martin, you didn't kill him and ruin my plan. Now see, I will tell you. He hit Martin through his black magic, but Martin stands up this time and says I understood that it is not Goblin but someone else. Thankfully I didn't kill the king, otherwise, I would have done a huge crime. Hearing this, the magician becomes furious and captures him in his black magic, and when Martin was about to die, the magician again hit him on the ground. He says, "I will kill you slowly and make you suffer." As Martin struggled, Shah Uran threw his axe back to him. Feeling the axe near his foot, Martin understands what to do. The magician was also trying to kill him in a blow. He even tells this to Martin. Before he could perform his magic, Martin suddenly throws his axe on his chest. Due to it, Zafar's black magic turns into ashes, and when he takes out the axe from his chest, the magician's eyes and the black smoke spreads around. His body also turns into black smoke, and only a small rat left behind. It was trying to escape, but then Martin's cat, which he brought from the witch's house, eats it. Similarly, Zafar's chapter was closed. The King Shah Uran's curse was also ended, and all the people turned into statues also become free. Seeing Martin's bravery, Shah Uran was happy as he gets free after 1,000 years, and the reason behind was Martin's bravery. He asks Martin, "Tell me, what do you want? I will fulfill." Martin says, "I just came here to save Princess Eva, nothing more than this." Shah Uran also likes his selflessness. He says, "I know you will not ask for anything, but I know what you need the most at this time." Shah Uran gives Martin his eyesight. Martin was seeing this world for the first time and was happy. They were about to leave when Shah Uran suddenly said, "Stop. I have grown old and will soon pass away. My empire will be left without a ruler. That is why I now declare you and Princess Eva as the king and queen of this land. I entrust my empire to you." Everyone was overjoyed to hear this decision. They promised Shah Uran that they would return soon after meeting their parents and would take full responsibility for ruling the kingdom. Eva also wished for Shah Uran to heal her father. Shah Uran granted her wish and gently transported them near their home. When they returned, everything was just as it was before. The king, now cured, resumed ruling his empire. They all were at peace and happy. Seeing this, Princess Eva also becomes happy, and her dad also feels proud to see her. It is shown that Martin and Eva get married and begin ruling Shah Uran's empire together. This marks the happy ending of the story.